Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium eSports coverage of the 12th round of Season 2 of Monday Night Racing presented by Tufco Flooring, as we welcome you to the Big Green Egg 120 at the virtual Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, I'm Taylor Burris, and I'm joined by my colleagues Jeff McConey and Keenan Kuzin. And as well as our wonderful producer, Ryan Bauer, is punching the buttons and twisting the dials over at the Top Flight CEC booth. Gentlemen, we are here for the first round of the playoffs for Monday Night Racing. And Jeff, a lot is going to be at stake here at Richmond Raceway. Drivers are going to have a tough time dealing with America's most premier short track.
You're absolutely right. Richmond Raceway is a really fun track to race at. It's 3/4 of a mile, but it's also extremely difficult. You'll see these drivers going down the front stretch. It's actually a banked front stretch, kind of reminds some people of Dover. But here's the thing. You have to get hard on the brakes, and you have to do it early. It's better to be on the brakes early on and have a long braking distance rather than a short braking distance, because you have to save your tires, save your brakes, take care of your stuff here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some wrecks going into turn 1, because you have to get on almost right after the start finish line. You're already getting ready to go into turn 1 and slingshot around, make a good run down the backstretch, and then try not to get run over going into turn 3, because once again, it's deceptively easy down the backstretch.
Certainly going to be one of the main storylines to keep an eye on here tonight. And Keenan, we are here with some of the biggest names in motorsports competing tonight. Newcomer Robert Wickens actually joining the field, going up against Kyle Busch, Anthony Alfredo, and many more major names in the world of motorsports here tonight.
Yeah, Robert Wickens, fellow Canadian. We're really excited to see him on the entry list, especially, since he's been dipping his toes into the sim racing world. Chad Reed as well, motocross legend, going to be in that number 22 tonight. A lot of big names out here. Garrett Smithley as well, Cup Series regular, going to be seeing him there. We can't forget about Nick DeGroot as well. 7 wins this season so far. Not only just real life drivers with a lot to prove here and a lot to bring to this race here tonight at Richmond Raceway, but again, some strong iRacers and some league regulars here that need to have a strong start to this playoffs and making a run for the championship.
Certainly is going to be things to keep an eye on. Anthony Alfredo, our current points leader for this Monday Night Racing Series Championship playoff. As we now zoom in over to Richmond Raceway, taking a look at this 3/4 mile circuit located in Richmond, Virginia. Started racing here in late 1940s, and NASCAR has been coming here for quite some time. In fact, IndyCar made a couple of starts here in the early 2000s. As we get ready for qualifying to finish up here today, currently is Anthony Alfredo, who has been on an absolute tear for the couple of weeks. In fact, actually coming close to winning the Podium 500 that happened this past Sunday, Keenan. And I gotta say, he put on a dominating performance all race that day, but is also looking forward to the grand prize of competing in this coming Sunday's Daytona 500.
Yeah, we saw him tweet earlier today that he's going to try to use that momentum from this weekend to move into Daytona, and maybe even use that momentum for tonight as well. Really, really great weekend of sim racing for Anthony Alfredo. So to take that into tonight, and if he has a great performance tonight, to take that into Sunday is going to be really awesome to see him out there on track at Daytona. But again, there's a lot of other names in here you can't count out. Of course, Kyle Busch, as you mentioned, Cup Series champion. A lot of guys that want to take that top spot away from Anthony, but fastest in practice as we move into qualifying here.
It's going to be one thing to keep in mind. But now it is time for the national anthem. We have to give a big congratulations to Anthony Alfredo, who wins the Bryant Shock Technology Pole Award, setting a time of 22.007 here tonight at Richmond Raceway. Now it is time to give you the full field rundown of today's starting order for tonight's race. Starting on the pole, of course, we just mentioned him, Anthony Alfredo, NASCAR Cup Series rookie, starting on the front row, alongside Will Rogers in second. Max Kennan in the 21 will be starting in the third place, followed by IndyCar driver Robert Wickens in row number 2. Row number 3, we will see DJ Cummings and NASCAR Xfinity and SCCA driver Preston Pardis rounding out your row 3. Row 4 will find IndyCar and NASCAR driver James Davison in the number 51. He will be starting in the 7th position alongside Podium eSports Gary Sexton in 8th. 9th position, we will find NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch alongside NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series driver Garrett Smithley rounding out your top 10.
Starting 11th is going to be Robbie Lyons, and next to him Ford Martin in the 07. Matt Stallknecht starting 13th, with Funny Car champion Ron Capps, our in-race reporter, starting 14th. Nick DeGroot is in 15th. Greg Stump starts 16th. Kobe Moore will take the grid 17th with a 22.583. Followed right behind him is Stephen Ellis. Kyle McFadden and Michael Massey will round out your top 20.
Chad Reed, motocross legend, coming in at number 21, with Roger Diebold coming in at 22nd. 23rd placement going to Paul Sutton. Gabe Wood starting from 24th. And the last year qualifiers, Garrett Miller, and then Brett Baldick and Drew Welker in the 64, both opting to not qualify, going to be on your back row for tonight.
As the field gets their way gridded up, take a look at the weather conditions here tonight. 73 degrees right now as the air temperature with a 2-mile-an-hour wind. Track temps just a little bit warmer than the air temp, 75 degrees. But Jeff, cool temperatures here under the lights at Richmond means only one thing: fast times and a lot of grip out there.
You are absolutely right. These drivers are going to be flying around this racetrack. They've got 120 laps around, and the most important thing here at any short track is to just be calm, be smart, and make sure you're there at the end. If you take a little bit of damage here, it's not the end of the world. But what can really hurt you is getting into the wall and getting stuck up there. You get stuck up on the outside. Sometimes you even get plastered to the wall, it feels like, where it reaches out and grabs you. Then you're going to lose a lot of positions. Passing cars here is pretty difficult at any short track, but you have to make it work, time your moves correctly. With the amount of experience and pro drivers in this field, though, I think this is going to be a really good race.
It certainly is, as we are going to get the green flag time this time by, as we will see one more lap before we get the green Keenan. A lot of these drivers looking forward to seeing what they can do here tonight. It's the first round of the playoffs. Points and positions will be everything.
Yes, of course, Taylor. Going to have to maybe see some different strategies. You might see some of these new guys that are just showing up that are have no dog in this points fight, kind of getting aggressive early on. Might see a lot of these guys as well who have a dog in this points fight, maybe playing it a little bit conservatively, just trying to get a good finish, not so much, like pushing towards the front, knocking people out of the way, as is tradition on short tracks, but, taking a 5th or 6th. Going to be really interesting to see kind of how they play out with that choice of strategies as we are almost ready to take the green flag here.
Certainly is. Of course, 2 rounds in this playoff round of 13 with Richmond and Talladega. DJ Cummings, Gabe Wood, Max Kennan are the 3 drivers on the outside looking in as the pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. We are about to see the green flag for the Big Green Egg 120 at Richmond. Field makes their way through as Anthony Alfredo takes the lead heading into turn 1. Will Rogers in the Space Station Gaming's number 55 Ford on the outside trying to make it work, but Alfredo will hold on to the race lead as they head down the back straightaway.
This is where you have to make your moves and make sure they're good ones. Will Rogers up there on the outside. He can hold on. You can make passes on the outside. A little bit of a bobble there. Lets Alfredo get the lead. Now they're single file. This opens the door for Max Kennan to make a move. He looks to the inside, thinks better of it. Now behind him, you see Robert Wickens all the way up on the outside. That's what I was warning you about earlier. If you get out there, you miss the corner, you can have some real problems here. Now he's fighting back on the outside.
Robert Wickens gets a little bit loose right there, is able to gain control. Close call indeed for him, Keenan. I mean, he's going to have to go 3 wide with Preston Pardis and Kyle Busch as the caution comes out.
Good save from Robert there, as we little Canadian hockey term, soft mitts on Robert Wickens there in the number 6. But looking back to see what cost that caution, going to be the 50 of Gary Wood involved. Caution really early on in the race here, but welcome to short track racing as we take a look at the replay.
Couple of incidents happening on track. That's the 50 of Gabe Wood. We mentioned him early on. Makes some contact right there with him in the 37, collects the 02, as well as the 0 car out on track as well. Gabe Wood, of course, one of those main drivers who we mentioned in the playoffs trying to get into the top 10. But unfortunately for him, he's going to have some trouble. And then there's the 37 who's out on track struggling right now. As we're on board with him, that is Paul Sutton. Unfortunate for him.
I'm taking a look at that 50 car of Gabe Wood, and if you can tell, get a quick look at it there, that car is sideways going down the straightaway. That's a lot of damage on that car. You can't drive it like that. I think that's going to be his night if he doesn't have a fast repair. A couple drivers are coming down pit road, get some damage replaced. The 02, he's driving a NASCAR modified, which are coming back here to Richmond later this year. I know a couple drivers are looking for rides for that, but he's got no front ends. That is going to certainly hurt his performance.
The other drivers who came down pit road to get those damage repaired, Roger Diebold, Michael Massey's in the 27, and then also the 36 of Garrett Miller and the 64 of Drew Welker also coming down pit road to get damage repaired as well, but they will most likely, Keenan, be going a lap down here depending on how long they get those damage repaired.
Perhaps, Taylor, but it's a long race, and, short tracks do be short tracks. It might be beneficial for them to hang on to that fast repair and be able to take it in a scenario where you do have half your car missing and you do have it crabbing down the front straightaway. So if you got a little ding, a little dent, and something that the pit crew can knock out with some hammers and a little bit of elbow grease, it might be a little bit advantageous to you to hang on to that fast repair and use it when you need it. We were only 5 laps in, a lot of time to make that lap back, especially with the lucky dogs that were going to come from these inevitable yellows. Because, again, at the end of the day, it do be short track racing. And with this being a playoff race, there's a lot on the line here.
Certainly is right now. Quick little update on the playoffs right here. Anthony Alfredo leads it right now, followed by Nick DeGroot, your Monday Night Racing Season 1 champion, with Will Rogers, Nick Sanchez in 3rd and 4th, Kyle Busch in 5th, Preston Hardis 6th, Matt Stallneck in 7th, with Gary Sexton, Ford Martin, and then a little later on tonight, our in-race reporter, NHRA Funny Car champion Ron Capps will be joining us later on here tonight in the booth as we sit in race report with him about how conditions are out on the track. But right now, we should be seeing the lights go out on the pace car this time by, as we give you a quick rundown of your top 5, Anthony Alfredo, Will Rogers, Max Kennan, DJ Cummings, and James Davison, your top 5. And Jeff, James Davison was on an absolute tear earlier this season. 2 back-to-back wins. Could not make the playoffs because he started late into the season, but you know for a fact he's going to be one to watch here tonight.
He absolutely is. He's already made 2 passes. He was on the inside of Robert Wickens, trying to take advantage there of his little slip-up, but I think if he just keeps it calm, and again, it's all about being calm, cool, and collected here. He's restarting on the inside here, so he's got a good chance. You can usually make a pass or 2 on the inside. It looks like the lights on the pace car are about to go out. But here's the thing. In these Xfinity cars, you have a lot of power with not a lot of downforce. It's easy to get a good run in, make a good dive bomb attempt, and you can usually make it work. I say usually because oftentimes dive bombs go wrong, but you can really make something happen here. Now that 10 car of DJ Cummings will be up on the outside. He's going to be staring in that rearview mirror, looking at James Davison and making sure, all right, where's this run coming? Am I going to be able to get down to the bottom, or is he going to lose some spots up on the outside?
Of course, right behind him is going to be Kyle Busch, a 12-time winner here at Richmond Raceway with 6 wins in the Cup Series, 6 wins in Xfinity Series. That's going to be a race to watch as the pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. Green flag will be out, and Anthony Alfredo gets a great restart over Will Rogers as they make their way down into turn 1 side by side for second between Kennan and Will Rogers.
Will Rogers trying to make something happen on that outside line right now, just trying to get the run off the corner, but not quite getting it down. He does have the nose on the inside car of the 21. Just Max Kennan really trying to put up a dogfight here, but not really being able to get it done. Looks like a side-by-side. Oh, there's a 10. Perhaps brushing the wall there. DJ Cummings getting a little bit of that wall. Oh, and cutting off the 90 as well of Preston Pardew, trying to get on the inside of the 10 now.
Preston Pardew from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, right now on board with him as they dive it into turns 3 and 4, trying to see if he can catch up to James Davison to get to his inside. Meanwhile, a little further back, you see Kyle Busch battling with the 10 of DJ Cummings as they head down into turns 1 and 2, side by side for battling position. You're on board with him as he comes off of turn number 2, getting ready for Speed Weeks here this week here at Daytona International Speedway, but decided to take a trip here on the virtual world at Richmond Raceway for Monday Night Racing.
Now keep an eye on this 54, and the cars that are quick out here, they are smooth. You will see that he gets that car right down to the bottom. Now he's clear of the 10, and he's just cruising around. Robert Wickens looks like he's having some trouble getting acclimated. He's sitting up on that high line, but that is not where you want to be. Now, that could be carrying over from his time in an IndyCar where you have to sit up on the outside of someone, avoid that draft. But now, in one of these cars, you want to be making aggressive moves, and he gets into the wall actually there. Not too much damage to the car. Might have knocked the right front toe in a little bit, but that car should still be fine. You can take a little damage at a short track.
Get a little beating and banging, no problem here as we continue on a battle for second right now up at the front of the field between James Davison, Will Rogers, and Preston Pardew. So 3-car battle for second as they come off of turn number 4 as the caution comes out once again. I believe it might involve the 0-2 of Roger Diebold as well as the 4 of Brett Baldeck as we get another look at that caution here happening. Actually, Diebold was able to get around it. It involves the 22 of Chad Reed and the 15 of Kobe Moore.
Yeah, just looking maybe at the 1 car of Chad Reed just getting a little bit loose coming off the corner, tried to save it, threw it in the wall. And unfortunately, the 15 car of Kobe Moore, just a bystander, as well as Brett Baldeck just piling in there as well. Was wondering how these guys who maybe weren't super familiar with the Cup car or super familiar with Monday Night Racing were gonna fare tonight. And unfortunately, Chad Reed learned real quick. This is not a dirt bike. This is a 3,800-pound death machine, and if you don't respect it coming off the corner, unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen.
Certainly is the case as Chad Reed having a tough break here tonight as he will drop down the running order. As you see on board with Fox 46 Charlotte, Brett Baldeck has what he had to see coming up his way as they come through. Gets clipped right there as Chad Reed comes back up the racetrack. He'll almost make contact with the 0-2 of Roger Diebold, but was able to avoid contact with him, but he will have significant damage to the nose of that Toyota Supra. As the pace car will lead the field past pit road. None of our front runners are going to come down pit road just yet. Still a little early on in the going here. Only 15 laps complete, coming to complete lap 16 here at Richmond Raceway. Of course, tonight's race is brought to you none other than by the Big Green Egg here tonight. And with that, Big Green Egg, with it's versatile, is the name of the game. You can grill, roast, smoke, bake, and sear on the all-in-one, simple-to-use Big Green Egg. From appetizers and entrees to desserts, the Big Green Egg will exceed all your expectations, and with 7 convenient sizes and a lifetime limited warranty, there is a Big Green Egg to fit any lifestyle. Don't forget to watch the number 9 Big Green Egg Ford Mustang in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series and listen to their Cooks and Cars podcast. Race on over to biggreenegg.com for more information and find a dealer near you. Under caution here once again as we complete lap 16 here at Richmond Raceway for Monday Night Racing Season 2 playoff round number 1 at Richmond Raceway. Myself, Taylor Burris, Jeff McConey, and Keenan Kuzin here calling you all the action with Ryan Bauer up in the production booth, twisting the dials and punching the buttons as we should be getting ready to go back green flag here, Jeff. Some of the drivers came down pit road to get some damage towards the back half of the field. Thoughts on how they look right now?
I don't think tires are going to be a huge advantage here quite yet. I think right now where we've sort of had 2 cycles on them, you got going, then you slowed back down, then you got going for a couple more laps and slowed back down. I don't think having fresh tires is going to be a huge advantage. Now, maybe I could be wrong, but I really do think if your out front, track position is going to be most important here. Right now, we're already a sixth of the way through this race, just about, once we hit lap 20. 120 laps around doesn't sound like too long of a race, doesn't sound like too much, but when you're in the car, you're behind the wheel, it certainly adds up quickly. And when you're having all these cautions as well, you're slowly going around, you're thinking about what you need to do next, you're thinking about everything that's going on. You can really get inside your own head, especially at these short tracks.
Certainly is. And quickly, right quick, Keenan, James Davison up in second right now before we take the green flag. His best finish was a 37, so he's sure making up for it.
Yeah, James Davison really trying to correct that 37th place finish. But what I noticed in the last green flag run is Anthony Alfredo took off. He's in a league of his own.
He certainly is, and he's about to do it again as we are underway here on the restart at Richmond Raceway. Battle for second, picking back up where it last started as Will Rogers will go to the inside of James Davison. Preston Pardis trying to fill the gap between him and Will Rogers as they come off turn 2. Kyle Busch now in the 54 looks on as they head into turn 3.
Just a slight kiss to the wall there by the 54. He's pushing the limit, and he's making passes on the outside. A little bit of a wiggle. It looks like off turn 4. It's really easy to lose grip there. I can tell you from experience, a lot of laps turned here. So these drivers are starting to learn. Now they sort of know where it is. They know, okay, turn 4, I'm going to get a little bit loose on exit. I got to be careful there. I know off turn 2, we've seen 2 wrecks off of there now. These drivers are starting to get smart. They're starting to get wise. They're single file at the front. I don't think that's going to last for long as they're fighting for the lead.
They certainly are, as we just now have 100 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway. Battle for the race lead as you are on board with the 55 of Will Rogers from Space Station Gaming. Of course, they are about to kick off their run in the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series with Malik Ray and Vicente Salas. But Will Rogers, one of the managing members of the team, decides to come out here, have some fun in his Ford Mustang Keenan as he is battling with Anthony Alfredo.
Yeah, Will Rogers representing Space Station Racing, the eSports powerhouse, finally making their way into sim racing. But this is the first time Anthony Alfredo's been challenged all night. In that last run, as we touched on right before the green flag, he, due to either they're battling or just having really, really good pace, just exited the question for P2, had a huge lead on the rest of the field. But right now, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 other cars right behind him saying, hey, Anthony, you've had a great weekend, brother, but now it's our time. Now we're taking that P1 from you.
Top 6 right now, separated by 1 second as Will Rogers look to the outside. James Davison will squeeze to the inside, trying to get second as they go side by side on board with Preston Pardis as he looks on, trying to see if he can fill the gap quickly as they come through turns 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2, we will see Will Rogers try to hold on, but Davison looks like he's had a little bit of advantage going into turn 3.
Some short track aggression. Tempers are flaring. They're 3 wide for second. The 90 car thinks better of it and backs out. Now they're side by side for third. This is where the 55 is going to start getting aggressive. Now he needs to get to that inside. Now Kyle Busch is going to go around him. He's going to go from second all the way back to 5th, 6th, maybe even 7th if things go sour for him.
Want to give a quick update, Keenan, on what happened to Robert Wickens.
Yeah, Robert, unfortunately, is out of this race. Looking like he got into an incident on the start, finished straight with the 28 car of Ron Capps, our in-race reporter. Be able to ask him about that. Just got a little bit loose. Robert was on the inside, gave him the door. Robert spun on the inside, no caution, and that'll be Robert Wickens out of your race.
Unfortunate for the season debut of Robert Wickens here for Monday Night Racing, but hopefully he'll be back for the next round when we take Indy cars to Talladega. So from short track racing with low speeds to high-powered, high speeds of Indy cars at Talladega, but right now we are here watching the battle for the 4th position as Kyle Busch is under heavy pressure from Will Rogers as they head off of turn number 4, heading across the front straightaway here. Jeff, what do you see of that battle?
Well, I see Kyle Busch getting around, and once again, he gets right up to the wall, and it allowed Will Rogers to slip into line. Now he's going to have to try and make up some of that lost ground. He was right on that back bumper of Alfredo. Now he's all the way back here. But speaking of the back bumper of Alfredo, that 33 is right there. Now in short track racing, there's something that we like to call the 3-tap rule. It came from Ted Christopher, a modified driver, one of the greatest, if not the greatest that ever lived. Tap number 1 is, hey, I'm here. Tap number 2 is, okay, buddy, it's time to move. Tap number 3 is, I'm moving you. So be prepared for some of that tonight. It's not really done with the intention to dump anybody. It's done with the intention of get out of my way because I'm quicker. And right now, James Davison's lap times are quicker than Alfredo's.
Certainly is. Looking at the times right now between the two drivers, Alfredo was a little bit faster than James Davison, but not much indeed. As we continue on, Preston Pardis, actually the fastest out of the top three, with Kyle Busch, currently the fastest car on the racetrack. The 12-time winner here at Richmond Raceway knows a thing or two about getting around here, as he actually swept the weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series back in 2018, and he is looking to see if he can get another Monday night racing win here at Richmond Raceway, a track he is very good at doing here, Keenan, as he is definitely on the back bumper. Preston Pardis in that number 90.
Yeah, he's been making his way from that little bit of a second pack forming, trying to get in the mix of these top three. Not only is he the fastest car on track, he's been consistently the fast car on track, even with the lap times just starting to fall off a little bit here. Trying to magnetize himself to the back of that number 90. It looks like they're trying to calm down just a little bit. There is gap, but not a whole bunch of gap. But I don't really see anyone poking their nose out looking for moves. Maybe, perhaps, Taylor, maybe, perhaps, the race is starting to settle a little bit.
We'll have to keep an eye and see how that battle is going to go on. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of our drivers who are on the outside looking in. Gabe Wood currently sits in that 12th position in the number 50. He is on the outside looking in for the point standings in the top 13 of the championship. He is currently sitting right now in 12th. He's in 12th in the points championship, and he is wanting to see if he can gain some ground, as he is currently ahead of Ron Capps and a couple of other drivers who are inside the top 10.
He is the biggest mover of tonight. He's made up 12 spots, started all the way back in 24th, now up to 12th. Scratch that, he's up to 11th with a pass on Robbie Lyons. Now he's looking pretty darn good. Looks like he had a fast repair, and he touches the wall, just a kiss. No worries there. And now back up to the front, though, Alfredo. Still under pressure, but managed to get about 2 car lengths there. James Davison, you have to wonder, is he pushing the car right now and he's pushed too hard and it's starting to fall off? Or is he sitting and being patient and waiting for Fast Pasta to make a mistake?
We'll have to keep an eye and see how that as Kyle Busch hits the wall a little bit off of the front straightaway as they head into turn 1. A little bit of damage to that car, but he might still be able to keep going here, still running consistent times. Just a 10th off of Preston Pardis and James Davison, but running identical almost lap times to Anthony Alfredo, our race leader.
Yeah, these guys in this front group are just very, very, very consistent. If you look at the lap time difference, there's maybe half a tenth to a tenth in it. Kyle Busch definitely showing his intent of wanting to get to the back of this group, but, you know, brushing the wall a little bit, not that big of a deal on a short track if you can keep it just a kiss, make just some sheet metal damage and keep her going. Again, still have a lot of these guys still have that fast repair in their pocket, so that is going to kind of incentivize a little bit of aggressive racing. But as I say that, it almost looks like, Taylor, maybe it looks like to me like the 55 is either gaining or the 54 is dropping back just a little bit into that second pack.
Certainly is right now as we take a look as Will Rogers is gaining ground on Kyle Busch. About 3/10 separate the two drivers as they dive it off of turn 3 and 4. Now, Anthony Alfredo's going to have to deal with one thing that's the common denominator when it comes to short track racing: lap traffic. He is on his way catching up to the tail end of the field. That is going to be Paul Sutton in the number 37, who's not having a good night so far, as he is actually one of those drivers who is outside of the playoffs right now. He will unfortunately go up against the wall, scrape it a little bit, and continue on his way. Next up is Chad Reed and Nick DeGroot, actually, who's having a caution.
Kyle Busch involved.
Trouble for Kyle Busch, the number 54, as it looks like him and Paul Sutton might have gotten together. The answer is going to be yes as we take a look at the replay.
Paul Sutton just trying to get out of the way of these lapped cars, and Kyle Busch underneath the 37 of Paul Sutton bouncing off the wall, and there was nothing, not a thing Kyle Busch could do, as unfortunately some other cars collected. The 55 getting a little bit of damage, the 21 of Max Kennan, another one of those drivers outside looking in, getting a little bit of damage. The 10 hitting him for a ton. That's DJ Cummings as well. As you mentioned earlier, Taylor, one of those 3 drivers that's knocking on the door, being able to make it into the next round.
Two of our three playoff contenders who are on the bubble trying to get into the top 10 involved in this incident. And Kyle Busch, who was one of our drivers inside the playoffs with his win he had at Talladega, also in severe trouble as he will make his way down pit road. And looking at everything right now, 41 laps, it looks like everybody's coming down pit road.
Now, if I'm Kyle Busch, I would actually not be that concerned. You know you have a fast repair. It stinks that you have to use it this early, but I'm fairly certain that engine of his is damaged. With the way he hit the wall, I would be very surprised if it wasn't. But with that fast repair, he can use it, get some fresh tires. All it does is send him back a couple positions, but he chooses not to use the fast repair here. That car is down on power right now. You can see if you're looking at the in-car that he is down on power, so surprising that he's not using a fast repair on this, and he's going to just choose to take the optional repairs while sitting on pit road. However, getting off of pit road, looks like Anthony Alfredo will hold on to that lead. Fast Paus's pit crew could be just as quick as he is.
Certainly is the case right now as James Davison, Will Rogers, Max Kennan, DJ Cummings, your top five. As we now bring in our in-race reporter, driver of the number 28 Tufco Flooring Chevrolet and NHRA Funny Car champion, Ron Capps up here. Ron, do you have a copy?
I do. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Well, you were out there on the track here today. How are conditions for you?
Pretty good. I mean, just kind of, tires are so cold on these restarts, so treacherous out here. I'm just trying to hang on like everybody else. And unfortunately, we're coming out, I think, out of 4 down the straightaway. And I don't know if I got loose or I got into, sorry, they're talking to me on the radio. But yeah, it's so tight. I don't know if we had, we got into each other going down the main straightaway or not. And looks like I pushed somebody out.
Certainly is the case, as we saw that earlier on, but you are still in the playoffs. You're just right on that bubble in the 10th spot for the championship. What is going to be your goal as we continue on here in the rest of the race tonight?
Well, I mean, we're in the playoffs now, so we're just trying to go out and maintain and not lose spots and finish. You know, we got one fast repair, so for anybody watching that doesn't get on iRacing, the fast repair will fix everything real quick. But if you've got damage around this track, you seem like you could get away with it and still be out there. And I got a little bit of damage. I look around, I see Chad Reed in front of me, he's got damage. So it's a matter of getting through until maybe there's a big one, and then you need that fast repair. So it's kind of a poker play of whether or not you use the fast repair right away. And it's fun, but it's so treacherous on restarts with these cold tires.
It certainly is. We look forward to seeing what you can do here as we get ready to take the green flag. Good luck in the rest of your race here tonight.
Appreciate it.
That is Ron Capps, our NHRA Funny Car champion, as well as our in-race reporter here for Monday Night Racing. Jeff, we are about to go back green flag racing here. Tires are cold. They got to see some of the drivers out there warming them up by swerving back and forth, trying to get everything to go for them. What is one quick thing we can notice on this restart?
Well, you're going to notice that the drivers are going to be a lot more aggressive here. They're comfortable with the cars, and now that they've got fresh rubber underneath them, they know how the car is going to respond right when they give it any inputs. As right now they get ready for the start, Alfredo waits. The 33 tries to jump, and Alfredo once again almost clips that 33. Now he's playing defense. The 55 is being aggressive going into turn 1, side by side for second and fourth.
As we see 2x2, 3 rows deep, as Davison and Will Rogers get a little loose off corner exit as they make the run down into turn 3 and 4. We are back underway here at Richmond Raceway, but here comes a newcomer into the play. Driver of that number 51 Chevy Camaro, Garrett Smithley, has broken into the top 10. He's running 8th, going side by side with DJ Cummings as they go into 1.
You see, maybe people who've been saving for the first little part of this race, just letting all this, letting all the nerves play out, letting all this aggressiveness pay out, and then when everyone's kind of settled, it's time to go. Garrett Smithley moving up right now, holding on to the 8th position, really trying to get under DJ Cummings. But DJ, one of those guys that cannot afford to lose spots right now. There is a 4-way tie for the points position to be able to get himself and can secure himself into the next round of 13. DJ needs every spot he can afford right now. So Garrett, being able to want to get aggressive, want to get ahead of these guys, is actually going to put DJ a little bit farther back with Max Kennan in the 5th spot, 3 spots ahead.
He's also got to worry about another driver who's behind him, Gabe Wood. That's one of the contenders he's going to be battling for, one of those transfer spots into the top 10 here in the round of 13 as they dive their way into turns number 1 and 2. You're on board with him right now, and right behind him is DJ's teammate, Matt Stallneck, in that number 41.
Very hard battle there for second place now. It could go to anyone. Will Rogers in a bit of trouble up on the outside now. These guys are getting really aggressive. They're all trying to run down Alfredo, but here's the thing. Alfredo's looking in his rearview mirror and he's cheering. He wants those guys battling. He wants them side by side. He wants those guys to drift up into each other and bump each other out of the way here. The more they battle, the more they fight. Not only will it slow them down immediately, but it will also wear out their tires a bit quicker. A 22.413 for James Davison, a 22.29 for Anthony Alfredo. That's about a tenth and a half quicker.
Certainly is going to be interesting to see as they continue on their way battling for second place as they dive it into turns 3 and 4, as we are seeing Anthony Alfredo, I believe, has led every lap, maybe missing one lap between him and James Davison as they dive it into turns 1 and 2. Currently, Alfredo has a lead of over 0.7 of a second as they come off of turn 2 down the back straightaway.
And this is what we saw in the last run, Taylor, is that Alfredo just takes a big advantage of getting those great restarts, those great starts. Puts a gap on the guys behind him. The guys behind him are way too busy squabbling over second to be able to, like, let's focus. Let's see if we can catch up to Alfredo and be able to keep him in striking distance. But Alfredo got a pretty sizable gap right now, about 6-7 of a second. Unfortunately, we did have a little bit of issue in further back in the pack with Chad Reed and Drew Welker. Drew Welker, unfortunately, hitting the inside wall and taking Chad with him. So both those guys are probably going to be using their fast repairs, if not used them already. Might be seeing them either a lap down. Yeah, both of them just 2 laps down now. All three, there's only 3 cars a lap down. That being the 27, the 22, and the 64, as actually Kyle Busch is on his way moving up through the field as well. Started last on the lead lap at 23rd, and now he's already moved his way up to 18th. So I expect to see Kyle come back up through the field here and be in this mix as these guys are still trying to catch down Anthony Alfredo.
The 2-time Cup Series champion on his way to 17th position as he's catching up to the back bumper of Brett Baldeck in that number 4 Fox 46 Charlotte Toyota Supra as they work their way down the back straightaway heading into turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Anthony Alfredo leading the way here by 0.6 of a second over James Davison right now. As a little further back, you'll find Preston Pardus. Of course, Preston Pardus, an SCCA MX-5 Series champion, actually was at Daytona not too long ago competing in the MX-5 Cup Challenge for IMSA, putting on a barnstorming race there, but he has come here tonight to compete here for Monday Night Racing at Richmond Raceway as they work their way down into turns 1 and 2, trying to see if he can get a good run off turn 2 to catch up and get to the inside of James Davison.
He's sitting just about 2-3 car lengths off of him at any given time, and they're slowly starting to reel in Anthony Alfredo. One lap, one's quicker, one lap the other is between Anthony Alfredo and James Davison. Garrett Smithley, though, he is on the move. Right now, he's on the inside of the 13 of Gary Sexton. He is clear. Now Gabe Wood is going to go to work on the number 13. Kyle Busch, though, he's maintaining a very solid pace. Now, he's got all that front end damage. He might still have a fast repair sitting in the bank, but who knows? Right now, that front end damage isn't really hurting him too badly. He's down on power. Surprisingly, it can almost help on the long run to be down on power like that as he goes to the inside of our in-race reporter, Ron Capps. Being down on power, you're putting a little bit less wear on the tires. You're slower, but you're more consistent. So right now, the leaders are starting to run 22.7s, 22.8s. That's where Kyle Busch has been running, and he's still sitting there. He's not using up as much tire as everyone else. He could work his way back up into the top 10 with that damage.
Certainly is. Ran one of the faster times the previous lap now as you are on board with Podium eSports Zone, Gary Sexton in that number 13 Abruzzi Racewear Toyota Supra in a heated battle between Gabe Wood, DJ Cummings, and Max Kennan. Of course, Gary Sexton is inside the top 10 in the point standings for the championship run. He's going to see if he can try to work his way up a little bit and give himself a more comfortable lead going into next week's run at Talladega. But meanwhile, there's a battle between Max Kennan and Garrett Smithley. Garrett Smithley pulls a big slide job over Max Kennan.
I was going to say it's less of a battle and more just a Garrett Smithley asserting his dominance over that 21 car of Max Kennan. He just dove it right up the inside. I'm not sure if Max just let him have it early on in the race, but right now we've got all three guys from the outside looking in, basically nose to tail, with the exception of Gary Sexton in the mix there with this Max Kennan, Gabe Wood, and DJ Cummings. Great recovery for that 50 car so far. Of course, being caught up in that first yellow, taking his fast repair, making the best of it, sitting in the 8th spot, but he's going to have to see if he can get up to and get around that number 21 of Max Kennan, so he is able to make the best out of these positions. They are just kind of funny that all these guys are nose to tail on the points and they're nose to tail on the track.
It certainly is, of course. Garrett Smithley looking to see if he can improve his position. His best finish at Richmond in the NASCAR Series, a 19th. But as we have now just passed the halfway point here in tonight's race, it's time to bring you the iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing. iRacing is a world premiere online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsports. Virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in the Australian V8 Supercars, IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, the World of Outlaws, and more. Anthony Alfredo started on pole, has led every single lap, and has not looked back. He is currently your race leader here. As we go a little further back, you will find NASCAR and IndyCar driver James Davison sitting second in a heated battle in there between himself and Preston Pardus. Preston Pardus sits in 3rd position. He is going to be in the NASCAR Xfinity Series later on this year. In 4th, you will find the Space Station Gaming, or Space Station Racing, number 55 of Will Rogers currently holds that 4th position. He is being followed by 5th place of NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series driver Garrett Smithley. In 6th, you will find Max Kennan, followed by Gary Sexton in 7th position. 8th place goes to Gabe Wood, 9th is Matt Stalneck, and rounding out your top 10, DJ Cummings.
Ford Martin is having himself a good run in 11th. Robbie Lyons sits 12th. Kobe Moore 13th. Roger Diebold all the way from 22nd now to 14th. Kyle McFadden 15th. Kyle Busch fighting, clawing, working his way back up all the way in 16th now. Our in-race reporter Ron Capps in 17th, still maintaining good pace. Brett Baldick in 18th. Greg Stumpf 19th. And Garrett Miller rounds out the top 20, starting in 25th.
21st is Stephen Ellis with Nick DeGroot come in 22nd. Looks like he's just trying to ride around and log some laps. Chad Reed, unfortunately, getting caught up in almost every incident tonight. So Chad trying to make the best of a bad situation, claw himself back up from 23rd. Michael Massey in the 24th position with Drew Welker and Paul Sutton rounding out your current crop of cars that are on track. And the only DNF we have so far is, unfortunately, Robert Wickens, who has choose to head that number 6 car home early.
Certainly is, and that concludes tonight iRacing Midway Race Break. With over 170,000 drivers on the service and over 90 laser scan tracks and cars to choose from, iRacing is your portal to the racing world. Get on track today at iRacing.com. Of course, we have to give another big thanks to Max Pappas Innovation and Monday Night Racing have partnered to hold a contest on Twitter for a weekly giveaway. Over the past few days, race fans have been tweeting for their shot in to win. We're proud to announce that the winner of the contest and the $25 gift card from MPI is Spencer Schott. We want to say congratulations to Spencer Schott. And of course, Max Pappas Innovation is the world's premier manufacturer of steering and was founded 2009 by Max and Tatiana Pappas in Mooresville, North Carolina. MPI takes every aspect of construction and safety to heart to build their product in the most accurate and dedicated way possible. MPI have claimed 13 NASCAR championships, 4 World of Outlaw championships, 2 IndyCar titles, 2 Australian Supercar titles, and 1 NHR championship. Find out more at www.maxpappasinc.com as we are under caution once again here on lap 73 of 120 as we find out what the situation is. I might think it has to do something with either the 37 of Paul Sutton as he is on pit road.
Looked like it started with the 36 of Garrett Miller just getting a little bit too high, getting into that outside wall, and then coming down into the 78 of Greg Stumpf, and then it was all on from there.
As we get a look at the replay here, you'll see that between Garrett Miller and Greg Stump, also involved in that incident, has to go to the 46 of Stephen Ellis. Chad Reed also involved in this incident again. Tough break for the motocross champion here tonight at Richmond Raceway, Jeff.
Boy, that was a really unfortunate accident there. Just some hard racing. You push the car a little bit too much. The wall just grabs you, pulls you in, and you try to do anything you can to get it off. He just bounces off the wall there into the 46. And oh man, Anthony Alfredo somehow manages to limp linguini his way through. I don't know how he pulled that off. Sideways, this way, that way. Works his way through the wreck and somehow survives. Now he's on pit road. Probably a smart move. Get some 4 fresh tires on that thing.
Certainly is, as he'll win the race off of pit road here tonight at Richmond Raceway, as we have completed 75 of the 100 laps here destined for tonight. Of course, we do have the possibility of green-white checkers here tonight, as we are now going to go side by side here. You are watching Monday Night Racing live from the virtual Richmond Raceway on the Podium eSports Network.
There's a place where fire and flavor are celebrated, where grilling traditions and new techniques are perfected. Here in Big Green Egg Country, you can grill it, roast it, smoke it, or bake it. It's the most versatile grill you'll ever own. Simple to light, easy to use, comes with a free lifetime warranty. Have it delivered to your door by a certified dealer in your community and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience. Shop online for home delivery at biggreenegg.com. That's biggreenegg.com.
Welcome back to coverage of Monday Night Racing live from Richmond Raceway, as we are here for round number 1 of the Monday Night Racing Season 2 playoffs. Taylor Burris here along with Jeff McCody, Keenan Kuzin, and our producer Ryan Bauer over in the Top Flight PC's producer box, as we are here to bring you all the sights, sounds, and coverage here as we are under caution once again here on lap 77 of 120. Jeff, a lot of exciting racing here, but can anyone have anything for Anthony Alfredo here tonight?
It's definitely possible that James Davison, Preston Pardis could get back up there. However, take a look at who's sitting in 4th place. Kyle Busch is now back towards the front. I think he might have pulled a bit of an interesting strategy there on pit stops. I'm going to take a second look at this, unless Keenan, you're already on it. Yeah, he came in, stopped for a quick second, and then got right back out. So Kyle Busch, I think he just topped off on fuel, and now he's out there on old tires. That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
That's what it's looking like. Everyone else about 13, 14 seconds in the pits, and Kyle 3.5. So I don't know what kind of tire you can throw on that bad boy in 3.5 seconds. I don't know what they got going on there in KB's pits, but looking like to me that he just took a splash and dash, and he's just going to hope that there's another wreck and be able to keep that track position.
I would say it'd be because they have that Rowdy energy drink possibly in their pit box helping the pit crew out, but I think it's not the case because he doesn't have that on his card tonight. He has the M&M's cars. So maybe if the pit crew was a little bit faster, they might all receive some M&Ms. We'll have to wait and see what happens to the team as they continue on. The pace car lights are off. We are about to go back green flag racing here on lap 78 here at Richmond Raceway. Pace car is off as we are about to see the green flag is out, and not the best restart by Anthony Alfredo. Slight contact between him and James Davison.
A little bit of touching. Now they're 3 wide. Kyle Busch way off the pace. Those old tires aren't treating him well. Over the course of a run, you'll lose about a second to a second and a half, so he's far, far slower than everyone out here. I think he was praying for a quick caution, and I don't know if he's going to get one here. If there is one, he could be the cause of it.
Ooh, big sideways moment for the 50.
Big sideways moment right there as he's trying to hang on for dear life as we watch on Gabe Wood trying to go to the outside of Matt Stolnick. As you see Kyle Busch up ahead of him right there, struggling for tire grip as they work their way down the back straightaway.
Gabe Wood hard as nails to be able to keep that car under control. He almost spun it right in front of the field, but good to him, kept the speed, kept it sideways. Man, we got to invite this guy out for a drift night. But maybe I have to take a look at how that's going to affect the tire temperatures on the rear of that car, especially since they're new tires. So maybe be able to see, we might be seeing him fall back a little bit earlier than everyone else. Speaking of falling back again, hate to bring this up again, but Kyle Busch, you know, we were, oh, take it out. 41 sideways right now. Oh, catches it right in front of the 50.
Big save for Matt Stolnegger. He's still not done hanging on here tonight as they continue here at Richmond Raceway. Going to almost go 3 wide as you see our in-race reporter Ron Capps almost getting into the back bumper of Matt Stolneck. Continuing on as you ride on board, he has some drivers to his outside. That's Covey Moore in the 15.
Well, I wonder if you know how they live in Tokyo. That 41 car was sideways sliding around the corner. A little bit of a bump from Gabe Wood managed to keep him going. Up towards the front, though, Preston Pardis is right on that back bumper, barking at the door of Anthony Alfredo. He's trying to hold him off. It's just a car length between them.
Now, Keenan, with your drifting skills and everything like that, how would you rate this drift that you're about to see from Matt Stolneck?
Terrifying. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but terrifying. It looked like he just went to go block Gabe Wood. Gabe Wood said, "Excuse me, sir, I believe I will be taking that position, thank you." And when the rear end of the car steps out like that, and you can use a little bit of the banking to be able to keep that, to be able to hold on your angle, but it obviously not what you want to do. Again, big, huge save, full lock there almost, just being able to keep it smooth on the power. You don't want to come off power because then your rear end will rotate ahead of you. So nice balance of steering work, throttle work to be able to keep that car pointing straight. Now he's to the back of the 50 again, maybe looking for some payback.
Certainly is. We'll keep an eye on that, but we have to keep an eye on the battle for the race lead right now between Anthony Alfredo and Preston Pardis. It is now separated by less than 0.2 of a second between the top two as they dive it into turns 1 and 2 right now. Alfredo just holding on to see if he can be able to hold on over Preston Pardis. So it is two of NASCAR's up-and-coming stars battling it out here as James Davison watches on in 3rd position in his Chevy Camaro as they come off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway here. Davison, of course, looking to see if he can improve his best finishing result of 37 that he had in the NASCAR Cup Series last year in 2020 as they come off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway here, Jeff. These drivers are just barely touching that wall because turn 2 wall here at Richmond, not very forgiving.
No, it most certainly is not, and we are rapidly approaching 3/4 of the way through the race at this 3/4 of a mile track. This is where the drivers start to get aggressive. Now it's time to get going. It's time to get on the wheel and make something happen. Preston Pardis is just 2/10 off of Anthony Alfredo, who has been dominant this race. Nobody's really had anything besides just getting up to his bumper. They get up to him. Nobody can really get around him, though. A little bit further back, everyone seems to be in a single file line looking through. Kyle Busch has fallen all the way back to 16th. That's a story we've been following, so goes to show old tires are not the way to go around here.
Certainly is not the way to go, but something that is the way to go is Tufco Flooring. Tufco Flooring is an industrial flooring company specializing in custom floors and drains. Tufco doesn't believe in the one-size-fits-all approach, and neither should you. Tufco listens to your needs and requirements and develops custom solutions for every client. For more information, visit their website at tufcoflooring.com. As we saw our Tufco Flooring driver, Ron Capps, our in-race reporter, he's currently sitting in 15th position right now in that number 28 Tufco Flooring. And, of course, he is definitely at it here as they work their way running into 15th position, trying to see if he can catch up to the 15 of Covey Moore.
Yeah, just trying to hold on there and be able to push. I know he's just said earlier in our reports, he said he was just trying to gain points and just trying to be consistent. Looking like he's doing a great job of that around in the middle of the field, kind of where he needs to be. He's there, but not quite there. Maybe looking to see if he can pick up some spots in this late run, or perhaps waiting for another caution and being able to get something done there. As again, the battle for the lead still raging on. Anthony Alfredo almost led, if not every lap tonight, coming up to lap 92 out of 120. Preston Pardis maybe looking to get a little bit of redemption. Not quite sure, but it definitely was a part of that massive MX-5 finish at Daytona. If anyone has seen that making its rounds on social media, where it was almost 5-6 wide coming to the line. Trying to use either that momentum or that finish, maybe use that is tonight as well. Being able to make something happen tonight, because he has been all over the back of Anthony Alfredo for this round. But seeing a difference in driving style where Preston looks like he's trying to get out of the corners a little bit harder, using a little bit more of his rear tires, and Anthony just looks like he's driving the Cadillac up there in front, just nice and smooth, not really doing anything aggressive, just trying to hold on to his position. If Preston gains a 10th here, 10th there, so be it.
Certainly is, as he is running very consistent lap times right now as they come across the line. Anthony Alfredo running the fastest lap right here on this lap as we are approaching closing in on less than 25 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway. Currently right now, we look through the field. One driver who is not having the best tonight is our Monday Night Racing Season 1 champion, Nick DeGroot. He's actually in a battle with Kyle Busch as they battle for 17th position as you see them go side by side down the back straightaway. Jeff, this is kind of surprising for Nick DeGroot because he's always a contender up towards the front of the field, but tonight he seems to be struggling big time.
Richmond sometimes can really be a driver's track. There's some people that show up here and they just cannot possibly figure it out. It just doesn't click for them. Everyone has those tracks where it just doesn't work. Something about it just doesn't work. Personally, for me, it's Michigan. I can't get around Michigan for the life of me, and everyone in chat is laughing because that's one of the easiest tracks. But maybe just Nick DeGroot is having trouble working his way around here. You can't be perfect everywhere, but Nick DeGroot was perfect enough to be the Season 1 champion. Up towards the front, they're starting to pull away from third. It's a second gap back to third place, but Preston Part is still hot on the heels of Anthony Alfredo.
One thing Preston Pardus now has that might benefit to his advantage, Keenan, is lap traffic's right in front of them. They got Michael Massey's as well as Greg Stump, and I believe also the 36 of Garrett Miller right in front of them as well. So if Preston is able to time these passes just right, he could use one of these lap cars as a pick to get to the inside of Anthony Alfredo.
Exactly, Taylor. Basically taking the words out of my mouth. You know, it really depends on how nice these lap traffic wants to be. And considering they're side by side, I'm gonna go with not nice at all. You know, Anthony's gonna have to. Oh, big a little bit of a middle from the 27 there, as they're going 3 wide to be able to get past these lap cars. But it depends on what Anthony chooses to do from that lead position. You know, he has the privilege of being able to try to get through these cars. All Preston Pardus has to do is just follow him through. Whether Anthony loses a little bit of time, maybe going on the outside or maybe making a move that a lap car doesn't see, any sort of mistake, any sort of hiccup, any sort of holdup is just free real estate for that 90 car.
Certainly is free real estate for Preston Pardus as he's trying to close in the gap. Under 20 laps to go here as you're on board with Gary Sexton in the numbers 13 of Breezy Raceway Toyota Supra. He's trying to see if he can break into the top 5, but going toe-to-toe with the NASCAR Cup Series driver, Garrett Smithley, and with how well Garrett is on the iRacing surface, I've had the privilege of racing against him in many different leagues and series. Garrett is not one to mess around with.
He most certainly is not. He's taken home lots of wins, and now he's going to have to work his way through a little bit of lap traffic. He's got his sights set on Will Rogers, but he's about 4 1/4 seconds back from the leader, Anthony Alfredo, who's now starting to pull away from everyone else. This lap traffic could work to his advantage, but now all the drivers behind, I think we're going to see them start to spread out a little bit here as everyone works through lap traffic at their own pace. The 27 gets a little bit sideways in front of Garrett, but manages to hold on to it. Garrett goes around. Gary Sexton not too far behind either.
As we watch and see Preston Pardus now have actually trouble getting around lap cars. That's the 36 of Garrett Miller. He has to try and find a way to get around. That cost major time between him and Anthony Alfredo, and that 0.2 of a second gap that he had before, well, it's gone. It's now up to 0.6 of a second and growing.
Yeah, the unfortunate part, just the juxtaposition of what we already mentioned of Anthony having to break through. If you fall too far behind, basically that advantage has become moot. Either the only way you could get lucky is maybe they're already lapped, so they're not really putting up a fight for second, third, fourth, fifth. But instead of having Anthony Alfredo, the 33 car or 38 car, being able to break through those lap cars, you're basically having to do all that work yourself too, because there's just such a big gap. So to be able to take advantage of this lap traffic, the 90 has to close up a little bit, but what's left in either machine? It did look like Preston was driving a little bit more aggressively on the earlier part of this run with the 38 of Anthony Alfredo, just kind of taking it easy, just trying to be in smooth operator there in the lead position. So maybe you're going to be seeing the difference in strategies. Maybe 90 just kind of expecting the race or the run not to go as long and as green as Alfredo right to the back of a line of traffic here.
The longest green flag run that we've had was a little over 40 laps right now. We are currently ran 32 laps under green flag conditions here for the most part as they work off of turn. Big trouble right there as they try to get around. That looks like to be the 89 of Nick DeGroot. Close call for our race leader, Anthony Alfredo. That's going to maybe cause a little bit of time gain for the 90 of Preston Partis as he goes to the inside of Drew Welker right there at the 64.
Very, very close call there for Anthony Alfredo, and I think a lot of drivers would be looking for a caution right about now, and Anthony is hoping for anything but. We've heard reports from him in race that there's a big green egg thrown down at the bottom of turn 2. There's fans climbing the fence in turn 4. Someone's dumping fluid. There's been all sorts of reports from the in-race drivers, but the tower has not seen anything. Brett Beaudoin says the track is clear, and Anthony Alfredo will be sending him a thank you note at the end of the race here because he does not want to see the yellow flag.
I'm sure of that, and I'm sure a couple of people have seen multiple big green eggs out on the track, but unfortunately, it's kind of not there for drivers. Anthony Alfredo doesn't see a thing. All he sees is clear open roads with a little bit, and
no, he does not.
Commentator's curse has struck again as a car into the wall. That looked like to be Paul Sutton, possibly, in that number 37. Let's get a look at the replay of what happened.
Yeah, just going back on the replay, looking like a single car spin, just going a little bit too hot. Those tires at this point in the run, maybe not completely dead, but definitely not as strong as they were on the beginning of the run. You see the rear end just kind of come around from them. And once that front end kind of overrotates, or the rear end kind of takes away from the front end, it doesn't matter how much steering lock you have in these cars, there is no coming back from that.
And you know what, gentlemen? The driver, Anthony Alfredo, was about to lap before that caution came out. 12-time winner, Kyle Busch. He was about to go one lap down. Talk about a big save for Kyle Busch. As the field gets ready to come down pit road, we'll bring you all the action of who wins the race off of pit road here. Drivers are now coming down. How critical, Jeff, will this pit stop be?
This is everything. You need to hit your marks. You need to get into the box quick. You need to say a quick prayer to RN Jesus that you have a nice, fast pit stop here. Because right now, whoever comes out of this in first place is going to have the biggest advantage to take home a nice big checkered flag here at the end. So you can tell I'm getting a little bit excited here. This is going to be a great run to the finish.
As the race off pit road, 2 tires coming into play as James Davison, Garrett Smithley win the race off pit road. Anthony Alfredo, Preston Partis, Will Rogers will round out the rest of the field. But one thing I noticed, okay, Nick DeGroot is coming down pit road now as we speak, because I was about to say, is Nick DeGroot going to try the impossible on 36 lap old tires?
I mean, there is that, Taylor, but with 7 laps left to go, or very under 10 laps left to go, do you think this is the only caution, really, for real?
No, I do not. But with that, we are going to go side by side, so you won't miss a minute. But hopefully, we'll be back before the green flag. You are watching Monday Night Racing from the virtual Richmond Raceway on Podium eSports Network.
We are an industrial flooring company specializing in custom floors and drains. We don't believe in the one-size-fits-all approach to flooring, and neither should you. When you choose Tufco, we consult with you about your needs, industry requirements, and factor in numerous variables. After assessing your facility, we engineer your floor and drains, then install everything ourselves. That's the Tufco way.
Visit our website at tufcoflooring.com.
Welcome back to coverage of Monday Night Racing live from the virtual Richmond Raceway. This is round number 1 of the round of 13. 2 races in this round here at Richmond Raceway in the Xfinity cars. And next Monday night, we are going to be taking the Indy cars to the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Taylor Burris here bringing you all the coverage along with Jeff McConey and Keenan Kuzin and our wonderful producer, Mr. Ryan Bauer, over in the Top Flight PC's virtual production booth as we are getting things ready to go here. Jeff, I was looking into there through the chat, drivers saying that they really didn't use up their tires too much under that pit stop. That's why we saw Davison and Smithley only take 2 tires that stop. Your thoughts on that matter?
I think that any driver that tells the truth is giving away their whole notebook. I really don't think that these drivers have only used up a tiny bit of their left side tires. Right now, these cars are going to get very, very loose. Garrett Smithley and James Davison are on 2 tires. Those cars are going to be wrecking loose. Now, if you like a wrecking loose race car, which some people do, you will be fine. But compared to the stability on a track that is already fairly loose, to the drivers on 4 tires behind them, it's going to be very interesting here. I think the drivers on 4 tires will have a marked advantage.
Certainly will be the case as we watch and see top 2 drivers, 2 tires only, the rest of the field, 4 tires. Green flag is out. We are underway. James Davison gets a great restart, but a little bit of wheel spin from Garrett Smithley as he will do battle with Anthony Alfredo. Dive it into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Will Rogers. Around he goes.
And he was on 4 tires.
Big trouble right there for Will Rogers as he is around the space station racing car. Made contact with another car, I believe, as well. That looks like to be the 21 of Max Cannon, possibly, as Gary Sexton almost made contact. Kyle Busch involved, Covey Moore, several other drivers involved in this incident as the big one happens at Richmond.
Just unfortunate. That's so easy to do on cold tires. Just having, especially since we had that long run where you get used to having that rear grip. Coming into turn number 1 there, just maybe overdrove a little bit. She's got a little bit of rear end damage, but I doubt that had anything to do with it. You said, the number 90 of Preston Pardis, who's been up there all night getting a piece of it. Then as soon as that 21 of Max Cannon gets a hold of it, everything breaks loose from there, just ping pong.
Certainly is, as you see another ping pong ball driver, Kyle Busch, going around Ford Martin. Heavy contact at the nose of his number 07 Chevrolet as Kyle looks on and not pretty happy probably about what just happened as we see what the outcome of that Max Cannon severe damage to the back of his number 21 Chevrolet Camaro. I'm pretty sure some of these drivers coming down pit road to get that damage repaired to see if they can continue on their way.
There's a lot of cars with a lot of damage here, but most of it is just cosmetic, and we talked earlier, as long as your engine isn't damaged, you can be okay here. I think on 4 tires, that you'll find that you'll be all right, especially with the green-white-checkered. If I'm James Davison, though, I am really, really hoping that Anthony Alfredo has a bad restart and he can get away a little bit here. Because Anthony Alfredo now starting up on the outside. Garrett Smithley in 3rd. We saw him spin the tires. Preston Pardis starting in 4th. So 2 tires on the inside, 4 tires on the outside. This is going to be a very interesting green-white-checkered here at the end.
Certainly is. Well, we're going to have to take a look and see how he can do here tonight, but also how he can do next week as we take a look at some of the upcoming events here throughout the week and into next week. Of course, right after this race, actually going on here right now, is the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series season opener at Daytona International Speedway. You can catch the action going on here right after our conclusion of tonight's Monday Night Racing broadcast on twitch.tv/iRacing. Then, February 10th, 9 p.m., the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series from Cedar Lake Speedway will kick off their season at 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/Podium2. Then February 13th, that is a Saturday, as they continue on the MSRA Premier Series with the Canterbury RV 500, once again from the Daytona International Speedway. Catch the action live February 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Podium2. Then Sunday night, after you get all of your Daytona action from the Daytona 500, why don't you come back over to twitch.tv/Podium eSports for the MPI Cup Series round number 6 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Catch it all on February 14th at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And then finally, we have Monday Night Racing presented by Tufco from Talladega Superspeedway Monday night at 9 p.m. It's the Indy cars at Talladega once again. And gentlemen, when we go there with the Indy cars, let's just say that they're probably going to need a little bit more fast repair.
It's going to need more than some fast repairs.
Hope and a promise too?
Yeah, hope and a promise, some pixie dust, some good luck, a little smooch on the cheek from their nearest loved one. That is going to be a brawl. Looking forward as well to the next round of playoffs of Bienvenue de Montreal. Going back to my backyard in the Porsche. It's not all oval racing, not all oval cars for the rest of the season, but really diverse next couple of rounds here as we are going into turn 3 Lights are off on the pace car. Taylor Burris, we're getting ready to go green here, green, white, checkered.
We certainly are. Attempt number 1 of a green, white, checkered. Pace car is off. James Davison is away. We are underway here for the green, white, checkered. Anthony Alfredo goes to the outside, trying to see if he can overpower James Davison through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Both of them slightly almost making contact. Smithley looks on. Preston Pardis tries to get in the mix. He gets loose off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Here comes Gary Sexton.
Another wreck further back, and it's going to be the same order when it restarts. The 0-2 is involved of Roger Diebold, and what exactly happened here? He went down the whole backstretch backwards.
Most impressive, I would say, by the 0-2 of Roger Diebold. As we watch the replay here, you'll see him trying to work his way through the field. It looks like it might happen between him and Brett Baldeck as well as they come off of turn 2. He gets loose, makes contact with Baldeck. Will Rogers having to make evasive maneuvers as he almost makes contact with Diebold, and as Diebold tried to spin it around the right way, he unfortunately makes contact with the inside wall on board with Will Rogers, just zooms right through. And I'm pretty sure he was sighing a big sigh of relief after that.
Yeah, no kidding. Being able to keep his dreams and hopes alive, keeping that car clean. It looks like a lot of these guys are struggling with cold rear tires on these restarts. He's not the only one. Saw the 41 there as well of Matt Stallneck get a little bit loose. Not as dramatic, but just seeing the rear end kick out a little bit there. And of course, you got to feel for Brett Baldeck. Just been having an unfortunate night and then getting hip checked there. Not the way he wants to end his Richmond Raceway round here for the M&R series. But you know, just he's been caught. He's just like Chad Reed. He's been caught up in like almost 50% of what we've seen tonight. Just unfortunate for those guys. But we're gonna go side by side here, Taylor. I believe. Wait out the rest of this caution.
We certainly do. Let's go side by side here for Monday Night Racing.
For years, people had to get professional tools off of a truck.
That's me.
But we know that tool trucks only come around maybe once a week.
You want to go check out what's in the van?
Now Dave knows that his NAPA Auto Parts store delivers parts multiple times a day to his shop, and they carry the professional line of Carlyle tools. Carlyle offers quality tools with a lifetime warranty on his hand tools and a significant savings over mobile tool trucks. And you can forget about the weekly payments and expensive finance charges.
Just pay me, every week for the rest of your life.
Carlyle Tools, as close as your local NAPA Auto Parts store.
Welcome back to Monday Night Racing playoff round number 1 from Richmond Raceway. We are just now under caution once again for our second attempt of a green, white, checkered here tonight, gentlemen. And as we get through here, we notice a couple of drivers who have worked their way back up to the field. Kyle Busch now sitting 9th, even with that damage. Robbie Lyons in the 19. He sits inside the top 10 with an 8th finishing position possibly as they work through the field. And then, of course, our in-race reporter, Ron Capps, having a tough night, still sitting in the 16th position.
You know who I've got an eye on that's a little bit further back? Kyle Busch. I think he might be able to make something happen here on another green, white, checkered. But we also saw Gary Sexton make a bold move down to the bottom, taking advantage of the opportunity that he saw. Garrett Smithley nailed that last restart. Anthony Alfredo was at the right rear quarter panel of James Davison when they entered the turn, and he was dead even with him through it. So I think with a couple laps, Anthony Alfredo might be able to power around James Davison here. He's got 2 fresher tires, but at the same time, Davison can hold strong on the inside, and he could make something happen. And we all were a little bit suspicious of a 2-tire call. I think he might have been the right one, and he saw the future that we couldn't.
Certainly could be the case. Could we see another Richmond Raceway victory here for Kyle Busch? Or could someone else steal the win away from Anthony Alfredo here, who's been the most dominant car since the drop of the green flag? We're about to find out. Pace car gets out of harm's way here tonight as they are underway for hopefully the final restart here underway at Richmond Raceway. Big move by Anthony Alfredo and James Davison as they dive into turn 1. Big checkup as well as Preston Pardis to the outside. They make touch.
Yeah, look at Alfredo go. He takes it 3 wide on the bottom, slides in. They're looking direct behind. Oh! James Davison doesn't, I wouldn't even call that missing the corner. He took it to a whole nother planet.
I think James was not too happy with that, and I think it's safe to say that Race Control is going to have a little bit of fun looking at this incident here as we watch on, once again, the replay. We see Robbie Lyons get loose, and then James Davison just hashtag sends it into turns 3 and 4 to get to the back bumper of Anthony Alfredo here tonight.
That dive bomb just took out a city block.
Yeah, it's funny as you say that. They just said in race control, hey, no intentional wrecking or you'll be disqualified. And guess what happened to the 33?
He got disqualified by looking at the race control.
Yeah, he went for a big sleep. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, that's going to be the end of James Davison's night, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know, like, if there's any other way of looking at that. It just looks like he got up, maybe upset that he got the bumper and went, well, if I'm not going to win the race, you guys certainly are not going to win the race. But unfortunately, a lot of innocent bystanders involved in that as well.
Preston Part is one of the innocent bystanders involved in this one here, as we see also the 15 of Kobe Moore getting a little bit of slight contact from Anthony Alfredo. But it is short track racing at its finest, and somebody definitely got the chrome horn here tonight.
You know, as someone that does a lot of short track racing here on iRacing, I've raced the modifieds like crazy, but what Anthony did there in turn 1, that's as clean can get. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not a really bad feeling when you get bumped and run, but Anthony went in, it was aggressive, he caught him on the left rear, he pushed him up the track and got him out of the way. But that 13 car, that was absolutely intentional, and as race control deemed, that was really damaging to a lot of cars here and their chances. But Anthony Alfredo all the way back in third now, Gary Sexton in second, and Garrett Smithley in first.
So we have now a front row start of a first 2-tire stop pitter was Garrett Smithley, and then the 4 tires of Gary Sexton in that Abruzzi Raceway USA number 13 Toyota Supra. And of course, last week Gary was our winner, or our in-race reporter last week for the All-Star race at the iRacing Super Speedway. Could he maybe pull a rabbit out of the hat and get the win here tonight at Richmond Raceway? And of course, Kyle Busch, he gained 3 spots during that caution. He's now up to 6th position.
Man, I think it's kind of redundant just saying Kyle Busch is talented at this point, but every time I pop into a broadcast at one of these races, he's always seemed like he's in the middle and having some issues, and then like 15 laps later, he's in the top 5 totally fine. This guy has such an uncanny way of just being able to fight through adversity, and it definitely shows the character of him being a NASCAR Cup Series champion. But Garrett Smithley being able to take the biggest gains out of that. Gary Sexton up there as well. But Anthony Alfredo just got turned. He's in P3. We know he can move somebody cleanly. We might see it again.
Certainly is. And another driver who's made his way up through the field was Ron Capps, our in-race reporter. Ron, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How are you guys?
Doing all right. It seems like you are having a very exciting night, having to negotiate through all the mayhem happening here. But before we go back green flag racing, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Gosh, it's been crazy. Like I said before, I mean, you know, I got into Robert Wickens, I think, earlier, which we were such a bummer to see him go out early, but this has been nuts. This restart is going to be worth all the money in the world for anybody to watch. So, pulling the belts a little tighter right now. Got the Tufco flooring car all painted up, a little dinged up, but we'll see what we can do here.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing what you can do. Good luck in this final restart. That is Ron Capps, our in-race reporter. And gentlemen, we are about to go back green flag racing for the final attempt, and Garrett Smithley wastes no time whatsoever. He is off and away as we see the battle for second between Anthony Alfredo and Gary Sexton as they dive it into turn number 1 and 2. This should be the final of attempt of green-white-checkered.
That it is. That whatever happens next is going to end the race. 3-4 car lengths Garrett Smithley has over Alfredo. Jumps down to just 2 now. Alfredo is pushing that car as hard as he can. Gets a good run off 4. Let's see what he's able to do with the last lap. White flag in the air.
White flag is out. We are going to call the race here as they come out of turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Garrett Smithley holds a car length advantage over Anthony Alfredo. Diving down to turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Will Alfredo have anything for Smithley? He's going to try, but off of turn number 4 to no avail. Will not work. Garrett Smithley will win at Richmond here for round number 1 of the Monday Night Racing playoffs.
Gotta feel for Anthony Alfredo dominating basically the whole night, but Garrett Smithley doing the best job of being at the right place at the right time, smart moves, smart plays, keeping that car clean, and it's gonna come with a big, fat, juicy P1 for that 51 car of Garrett Smithley.
Certainly is, and that is going to be a big help for Garrett Smithley indeed when it comes to the Monday Night Racing Playoff Championships here tonight, as he is going to be one to watch here today. As looking at the points championship, actually I think Garrett Smithley is not even in the points then, so he is going to be one of the spoilers here for the Monday Night Racing Championship.
Yeah, no kidding, really messing up that points the points for those guys, but Alfredo P1 in the points coming in. Got to imagine he's still P1. Great night of points for that number 10 car, DJ Cummings, and we were talking with those guys that are in the 11th, 12th, and 13th position. He was by far the best one, with the next one being Gabe Wood in 8th, and with Ron Capps being the keeper of the top 10, not having the best night, finishing 18th, really gonna make that bottom half interesting.
Certainly is. While we see Garrett Smithley and the rest of the field celebrating, we are going to give you the full field rundown. It is Garrett Smithley in his Chevrolet Camaro here winning tonight at Richmond Raceway. Anthony Alfredo was on such a tear, a dominant performance. He will be the bridesmaid, finishing in 2nd place. 3rd place goes to Gary Sexton, followed by Preston Pardis in 4th position. 5th goes to DJ Cummings. Kyle Busch will not get a victory here at Richmond, but he will come home with a 6th place finish. 7th place goes to Covey Moore, followed by Gabe Wood 9th, Ford Martin 10th, and Matt Stolnick rounds out your top 10.
In 11th was Robbie Lyons, followed by Will Rogers in 12th. Kyle McFadden from 19th all the way up to 13th there for the end. Greg Stumpf in 14th. Max Kennan came home in 15th. Garrett Miller's 36 machine drove from 25th all the way to 16th, the 2nd most spots gained behind Gabe Wood, who drove from 24th to 8th. 17th was Michael Massey. Our in-race reporter, funny car champion Ron Capps in 18th, Roger Diebold in 19th, and Nick DeGroot rounds out your top 20.
Coming home 21st, Drew Welker, Brent Baddock in the 4-car, Baldick, coming home in 22nd on the 4-car. Chad Reed, not the night he was looking for, coming home in 24th, 18 laps down. In 46 is Stephen Ellis as well, coming in behind him in 25th position. 33 car of James Davison, unfortunately getting that disqualification for the kerfuffle, we'll call it, into turn 1. Paul Sutton as well, coming home in 26th. And Robert Wickens, unfortunately, definitely not the light he was looking for, coming home in 27th. Hope to see him back next week, where he might be a little bit more comfortable in that Indy car.
Hopefully that will be the case. And as we wait for our race winner to come up into the booth, here he is actually right now, Garrett Smithley, coming here into the booth with celebrations here. Garrett, you pulled off the spoiler here tonight at Richmond Raceway for the playoffs. How do you feel about that?
I honestly, this is I just told my stream tonight, this is one of my least favorite tracks to run, both in real life and on iRacing. Qualified 10th. I didn't really think that we were going to have a shot. But man, I mean, crazy stuff happened. I actually told my stream beforehand, I was like, well, maybe James and Alfredo will get together and we'll just go on and win. And that's exactly what happened. So hate that did happen for both of them. I think it was going to be a good run to the end. But hey, we'll pick up on their misfortune and put this trophy tractor car in victory lane. It was awesome.
Certainly is. Now, quick question before we let you go and celebrate. How ready are you for this coming weekend at Daytona?
Oh, I am pumped. I'm absolutely pumped. Very first shot to qualify for the Daytona 500. It's a dream come true. I use this race as my as the race to debut my paint scheme. I tweeted earlier a picture of our real car that we're going to be running the duels on Thursday and doing qualifying on Wednesday. And I figured what better place to run for the first time our trophy tractor victory lane Daytona 500, possible Daytona 500 scheme than Monday Night Race League. It's a blast. These guys are a blast to run with, and we'll see you guys in Daytona.
We certainly will. Once again, that is Garrett Smithley, your Monday Night Racing winner here at Richmond Raceway. And also good luck to you this coming week at Daytona.
Thanks, guys. Shout out to the Lean Stream.
Garrett Smithley going to go celebrate here. And as we wait and see about Anthony Alfredo, we'll go ahead and pull up our 3rd place podium finisher here tonight. Podium eSports' very own Gary Sexton. He is with Keenan Kunis.
Gary Gary, hell of a night for you, my friend. I hope you're, how are you feeling? First of all, number one, let's get the easy ones out of the way.
Yeah, I'm kind of exhausted. We went green there. We had 2 good green flag runs that lasted a lot longer than I thought they would. Not that I'm underestimating the talent in the group here, but we've wrecked easier cars to drive, so I figured, I kind of played that strategy initially, that we were going to kind of have a bunch of cautions, but I went a little hard on that first run and used my stuff up. But the second long run we did well. We maintained our position there. Just didn't quite have what the guys up front had, and that late caution, it helped us. I didn't really want to see it. Hate it for Anthony, but it helped us a lot. And we just kind of avoided the chaos at the end that was coming. And when Davison went in there and wiped everybody out, that kind of opened the doors for us. I wish I started third there. Just having the ability to see the leader go from behind is a lot more of an advantage than trying to look out my side monitor and time it. I knew Anthony was going to be on top of it with his fresh tires and mine. It was just going to be a nightmare for me to try to hang there on the outside. But I just kind of followed in line and finished the race. So third place is awesome. It's a great way to start the playoffs for our Bruzy Racewear USA ride. And there was I had a little chip on my shoulder tonight. Saw who was the favorite for the championship pole, and I wasn't on it. So hopefully now I'm on it next week.
I hate to bring up old ghosts, but after not the weekend you were looking for in terms of iRacing, does this bring you back up, maybe add a little bit more confidence and a nice little boost to the morale over there at Sexton Racing?
Yeah, it definitely does. The mistake I made over the weekend is what it is. I hate that it happened. I really do. But, they're kind of put in a situation with plate racing, and, we're just kind of no yellow line rule. I was going for it, and it wasn't there, and I was trying to get back on track, and I, looking in my mirror, I just mistimed it and spun that guy out and wiped out the whole field. So yeah, this is definitely a better outcome for me and my confidence going forward. So I don't even know where we race next week. I was so focused on Richmond. Richmond's one of my best tracks on the sim. So now wherever we're racing, I got to get back to practicing so we can keep this momentum going.
Brother, do I have news for you. Next week, you will be at Talladega in the IndyCar. Great points finish from you tonight. Does that give you a little bit of breathing room for next week, or are you still looking for all the spots you can get?
I just want to win every week. It's what it's all about. I signed up here to win races as much as I can, and that's what I want to do. I'm not even going to look at the points until the season's over. So.
All right, man. Before we head out here, again, congrats. Nice to see you up there in P3. But anyone you want to thank? Any handshakes? Any fine lady or gentleman that you want to give a shout out to? Now would be the time.
Yeah, 10-4. Just shout out to my sponsor, Bruzy Racewear USA, and Joe Danielson. Thanks for coming on for the rest of the year. Of course, my buddies and team at Podium eSports, and Ford Martin for putting on an awesome league, getting to run. I said this last week, getting to run with these guys, with Anthony and Kyle Busch and Ron Capps and all of them, Bobby Labonte at some point. It's a dream come true. It really is. This is the closest I'll ever get to being a race car driver against these guys. So hopefully we can come out on top at the end of the year and say we beat them.
All right, man. Well, we'll be pulling for you, and thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right, that was Gary Sexton, third place in the 13 machine, and right now we probably have Jeff Marconi is caught up with Anthony Alfredo.
Anthony, it's Jeff. You got a copy, my man?
I got you, Jeff.
Well, how are you feeling after that very uneventful race where nothing at all happened, and nothing of interest happened towards the end? How are you feeling?
I wish it stayed uneventful like it had up until then. Definitely, I have I've won a few times in iRacing now, and especially in this league, but none of them have been easy. There's always been a good fight, and tonight it was crazy. I've never found myself that far ahead and just driving away. I just had a really great rhythm. I believe it was Ford who put this setup together tonight, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed driving it. It was actually a little bit tricky to figure out, but once I did, we were just kind of driving away there every time the green flag dropped, no matter how many cautions. And that last one, unfortunately, I think was intentionally brought out, which is really frustrating, but that's part of what happens sometimes. So we just tried to deal with the cards we were dealt. A couple guys stayed out 2 tires, which can't blame them. That's part of racing. You got to do what you got to do to put yourself in position. But pulled the perfect bump and run, I would consider it there, to get back to the lead so we can seal the deal after leading just about all the laps and qualifying on the pole just to get full throttled in 3 and 4. So still came home second. So at least we didn't get destroyed and finish in the back. But I know for sure we would have won that thing because we were out for a Sunday cruise tonight. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but was able to be nice and smooth on my MPI steering wheel from the seat of my SimSeats driving simulator, and D-Box haptics allowed me to feel every inch of the racetrack. So hopefully we could get some redemption next week.
Absolutely. You had a fantastic run out there. You were really on top of your stuff, it seemed. You were just clicking away laps, like you said, on a Sunday drive. Speaking of driving on Sundays, I think someone said you were busy or something, like some local short track you were going to be running at. How are you feeling for that one, bud?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's the Daytona 500, man. Never thought I'd get to this point. It's a real blessing, and I'm super thankful to be in the position I'm in. I'm just ready to go make the most of the opportunity. So big week ahead of me, leaving for Daytona tomorrow night. Glad we were able to wind down, have a little bit of fun tonight. All in all, it's just iRacing. We're having fun in the league. Hopefully put on a good show for the fans tonight and everyone enjoyed. Appreciate all the help you guys do to keep this thing going, and Ford behind the scenes as well. But I'm excited to go do the real thing this weekend, and this was a nice way to kind of get some momentum built up and keep me level-headed and kind of relax the nerves before we go run the big show on Sunday.
Yeah, you've advanced quickly through the ranks. I mean, you were K&N 3 years ago, Trucks 2 years ago, Xfinity last year, and now here you are in the Cup Series. I remember once saying to you, you're going to be Cup by 2022, so I will say I was right about that. So what singular thing are you most looking forward to, though, with this Daytona 500?
It's hard to pick just one, honestly. It's probably just the I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It really just what it means to myself, my family, my partners, everyone who's been by my side throughout my career and helped put me in this position. I was actually wheeling my Team Dillon management car tonight, so that was pretty cool. Big shout out to Austin Craven and Austin Dillon. It's going to be cool to be a part of this event in general. I think for myself, it means a lot of my family. I was in the grandstands as a fan watching it, and to go out there and compete against guys who've been in the series since I was just about born is pretty unbelievable and surreal. It's hard to put into perspective, but I know when I strap into my Speedy Cash Ford Mustang and fire up the engine, it'll definitely soak in, and I'll put the helmet on and just be focused, ready to go to work.
Man, well, I think I speak for everyone watching and everyone here when I say that we are really excited to see this happen, man. There's no one that, deserves it more sometimes, so it's really great to see. Do you have anyone you want to thank for helping you get here and having a second place run here tonight?
I think I got most of it in already, but I'm definitely going to go watch my Lockdown Racing boys and Exit Gaming teammates tonight in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. I know I'll be looking for that Makoni Setup Shop logo on those Richmond Raceway eSports cars as well, man.
Absolutely, and more stuff coming up in the near future. But Anthony, best of luck from everyone here on your racing on Sunday. I know we'll all be watching. You have a die cast that's going to be coming out here. I think it's like getting mailed out in August. So you finally have a die cast of your own car. A lot of good things coming together. A second place run here tonight, Anthony. Congratulations on it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week.
That is Anthony Alfredo coming home inside with second place. And finally, our final guest is our in-race reporter, Ron Capson. Ron, you come home inside the top 20 with a finish here tonight. Your thoughts on how you did as far as with the points championship here and trying to stay in and get ready for next week at Talladega?
Yeah, it was just like we talked earlier. It's basically survive, and it turned into an old school NASCAR race where they're a little beating and banging, and 3 green-white checkers, so we knew it was going to get a little crazy. On top of that, we had cold tires, so it was a lot of action. It was just kind of wait until you saw the smoke and then decide where to go, because it was not a matter of if that was going to happen, it was just when. And it was fun. I got to drive the Tufco flooring car, Ford, and all the Monday Night Racing guys. It's what makes this so fun. You get real racers to jump in, and a lot of fun media people, and just an eclectic group of people. And on to the next one, man. Not where I wanted to finish, but I'll take it. And it's about consistency. And I actually didn't use my fast repair, which is the first time ever. So we'll just go to Talladega and really strap our belts tight and hang on.
Certainly is. It's like we're going from, these high performance, Xfinity cars to rocket ships now with the Indy cars at Talladega. So hold on for dear life. And like you said, tighten those belts a little bit more. So Ron, thank you once again for being our in-race reporter. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Got it, man. See you guys.
That is Ron Capps, our in-race reporter here tonight from Richmond Raceway. And gentlemen, we have brought this race to a close. One race down, one race to go in round number 1 of the 2021 and 2020-2021 Monday Night Racing Season 2 Championship. A lot of drivers coming in here tonight, but we have a spoiler alert, actually, with Garrett Smithley, who even in the playoffs, take home the win. How significant, Jeff, is that to our playoff contenders?
It's huge, because they were sort of watching this and watching Anthony Alfredo go out, lead the way for most of it, and then Garrett Smithley comes from really out of nowhere to take home the win. He was sitting right around 5th, a couple seconds back from the leader. He had a strong car, but he wasn't up there ready to win. Made a bold call to take 2 tires, and he wheeled it at the end. Kept it out in front of Fast Pasta and the rest of the field. He did a great job winning it, but I think a lot of the competitors now are going to be watching, because next week, Talladega in an IndyCar, man, that is up in the air. You can't predict that. You've got just as much of a chance of predicting the winner of that as you do of just blindfolded throwing a dart and hitting the bullseye. It's just craziness.
Certainly is. And Keenan, as we go to Talladega next week in the IndyCar, who are going to be some of the drivers that we should keep an eye on competing next week?
I mean, if Wickens comes back, it's his home. That's where he's comfy. I'd like to see him in IndyCar. Any of the IndyCar regulars, if they're there next week, definitely weapons. I've seen Kyle Busch. He could basically drive anything at this point. We all have to look for our championship contenders as well. Nick DeGroot, Anthony Alfredo, all those guys are got lots of points on the line. And whoever filters out to be in the bottom 3, going to be able to see them get really aggressive. IndyCars, Talladega, 200, 230 miles an hour. Going to be a bloodbath next week.
It certainly is. But before we get to Talladega with IndyCars, we have so many more events coming up. In fact, going on right now as we speak, as we come to a close here tonight, the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series kicks off their season opener at Daytona International Speedway right now. In fact, once we're done with this broadcast, we're heading straight over there to watch the rest of that race. Then, on February 10th, 9 p.m., that is Wednesday, the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series kicks off at Cedar Lake Speedway. Saturday, February 13th at 7 p.m., the MSRA Premier Series kicks off the Canterbury RV 500 live from Daytona International Speedway. Catch the action live on twitch.tv/podium2. And then finally on Sunday, after you get done watching all the Daytona Speed Week action, we got one more race ready for you. The MPI Cup Series kicks off round number 6 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, February 14th, 9:15 p.m. on twitch.tv/podium eSports. And then we're back here, Monday Night Racing live from Talladega Speedway and the IndyCars. Catch the action live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on twitch.tv/podium2. Well, with that, it is time that we come to a close. For Ford Martin and Paul Sutton over at Monday Night Racing, for Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, John Theodore, and James Pike over at Podium Esports, for my colleagues in the booth, Jeff McConey, as well as Keenan Kuzin, and our wonderful producer, Ryan Bauer in the Top Flight PC production booth, I'm Taylor Burris. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast, and we will see you next time on the track. Good night.